Do you want to get perfect color for your photos? Do you shoot with multiple cameras and want to get consistent color from your different cameras? Or do you quite often shoot under different challenging lighting conditions and try to get neutral looking colors? Or do you want to improve the color in your video from something like this to this? If you say yes to any of your questions, I have a solution for you. Good morning everyone, Richard Wong here. Now, as our experience and knowledge as a photographer increases, we would have higher and higher requirement about the color of our photos and also video if you are a videographer. Recently, I have came across a product which I have used a little while and I found it the perfect solution for you if you want to have the perfect color for your photos, or if you shoot with multiple camera. It provides you a way to calibrate the photo from each of the camera, and you can then have a more consistent output for the photo from your different cameras. And the product I'm talking about is this one. This is the X-Rite ColorChecker Passport Photo 2. Inside the box, we have this passport size gadget, and inside it has 4 different targets for you to calibrate the photo to give you perfect color. Let's quickly go through the 4 different targets here. Okay, the first one is this gray balance target. So basically, this is a 18% gray card. This would allow you to get the correct exposure from the camera. So what you can do is that if you set the camera to do spot metering and do a metering on the card, and then you can use this to adjust the exposure on your camera so that you can get the correct exposure. And then the next one is this guy here, and this is the white balance target. So using this white balance target and your camera's custom white balance function, you can use it to get the correct white balance in your photo. If you are not too sure how to do a custom white balance on your camera, check your camera menu. The concept is very simple. Basically, you would take a photo of a white color object, which would be this one, and then the camera can then figure out what is the correct white balance for the scene that you are shooting. And then the third one is this one. This is the classic target. This is what the calibration software that comes with this color checker will use to calibrate the color of the photo. By analyzing all the different color in this target, the software can then create a color calibration profile for your camera or for your photo, and then once you apply it, then it should help you to bring out the perfect color for your photo. And then we have the last one, which is this one, which is called the Creative Enhancement Target. So you can see that there are 4 different rows of different color and different grayscale in this target. You can use this chart to apply a bit of controlled color shift to your photo. For example, if you want to apply a bit of pink color shift to your photo, then you can use this color chart to help you to do that. The actual workflow using this color checker to help you improve the color of your photo is pretty easy. So here, let me show you an example of how it helped me to improve the result of my photo. This is the first photo I shot using my GA-T5. I left pretty much everything in auto setting, auto white balance, auto exposure. I think the camera actually does a pretty okay job in giving me the correct color and correct exposure. But of course, it can always be improved using this color checker. So the first thing I did is that I used the white balance target, which is this guy here, and I use it to get my camera to do a custom white balance. And after I do the adjustment, this is the result. And just after this step, the color of the photo already look a lot more natural. And then the second thing I did is that I used this one, the great balance target, to help me to get the correct exposure. So using the spot metering on the camera, I adjust the exposure by using this great balance target. I changed the camera to manual exposure mode so that I can lock the exposure settings, including the shutter speed, aperture, and also the ISO value. So after using this target to adjust the exposure, I found that it was about 1/3 stop overexposed. I adjust the exposure setting and this is the result I got after that. The last step of the calibration is that I used this classic target and I took a photo of me with this target, and then once I took the photo, I would then launch the X-Rite camera calibration software and I load the raw file onto the software, and then by going through a couple of quick steps, it would then create the calibration profile for me. Then I bring the raw file into Lightroom and then I can apply the calibration profile to my photo, and this is the final result I got. If you compare it to the original photo I shot, you can see that the calibration process definitely improved the exposure and the color accuracy of the photo quite a lot. One thing you have to remember is that if you want to do the calibration, you have to shoot in RAW format, and if the RAW format from your camera is not a DNG format, then you have to either convert it to a DNG format or a TIFF format. You can go to Adobe, they have the RAW converter which can convert pretty much any RAW file in the market right now to the DNG format, and then you can feed the DNG file to the camera calibration software. Another thing I noticed is that when you are shooting at a higher ISO, the calibrated photo seems to make a bigger improvement to the output colors. And if you are a videographer, you can pretty much do the exact same thing. The workflow really depends on what software you're using. Some of the video editing software like Final Cut, they already have a pretty good built-in color calibration tool for you to calibrate the video footage into the correct color using the color checker. But if you are like me who is using Adobe Premiere Pro CC, then Adobe hasn't created a built-in tool for us to do the color calibration. There are some tutorials out there that teach you how to do it manually by going through a couple of steps, but I found the workflow is not really that straightforward. Fortunately, I found out there is a plugin called MBR Color Corrector 3, which allow you to do the color calibration in a much easier way. I will put the link to their website somewhere below. So this is not actually a free plugin, but they have a trial version, which is the one I'm using right now. If you use it for commercial use, then you need to purchase a license. So once you download and install the plugin to your system, to use it is pretty straightforward. You just load the video and then you can apply this filter to your video. And when you shot the video, remember you still need to take a short video clip with this color chart next to you so that you can go to that frame and then locate the position of this color checker, which is around here. And then the plugin will analyze the color and help you to create the correct color calibration adjustment. So this video I'm shooting right now, I purposely messed up the color, so the original footage actually looks like this. And after I apply the color correction, and now it looks like this. So as you can see, even though I purposely mess up the color, using this color calibration tool does help me to get a very nice and very accurate color in my final video footage. Now, while I think this color checker is really an amazing tool for me to get the accurate color for my photos and video, it is not without its limitation. For example, if you are a photojournalist or a wedding photographer, then this color checker probably is not really helpful because you won't have the chance to go and take a reference photo before every photo you shot so that you can create a correct color calibration profile for the photo you shot. Or even if you are shooting in a fixed location but you are just relying on the ambient lighting, then this color checker is probably also not really useful because the ambient lighting will be changing all the time. So even if you have created a calibration profile at the beginning of the shot, after half an hour or 1 hour or even within a few minutes, the color may have changed so much that the calibration profile that you create just 5 minutes ago may not be accurate for the photo that you took 5 minutes later. But if you quite often shoot in the studio or using control lighting to light up your scene, then I think this color checker would be a great tool to help you bring out the most accurate color from your photo or your video. If you want to get the best result, you should also calibrate your monitor and also your printer, but I will leave those to a future video to talk about. Thank you very much for watching this video. Will you be interested in using a color calibration tool like this ColorChecker Passport Photo tool to bring out the most accurate color from your photo and video? Let me know by dropping a comment in the comment field below, and I'll see you in my next video.